this been done? Why can't we do this? Why do we need to do that? I'm always asking questions. So I have a group that we started many years ago, and there was someone that joined the group. He's also someone whom I read his books initially, and his books was challenging religion. It was challenging religion, at a pace. We used to call him the Bishop of Odeku. He's the only bishop I know who offer you beer, and say you should come and drink beer, and he has a lot of questions on his mind, and we'll give him perspectives. We'll share perspectives. We'll share his worldview. I'll share my worldview. Over time, is someone I have come to respect for his authenticity. I knew him, when he left paid employment. I knew him when he started out. I knew him when people doubted his capacity to sell his books. I mean, those books were not selling as much as he wanted it to sell that time, but he persisted. He kept it. He kept saying your books will sell, right? I have seen him get challenged. I have seen him break down. I've seen him through several seasons, and I'm super proud of him because he recently, maybe in the last 2 years, I have seen him push the concept of shameless selling, right? And I think yesterday I was watching one of his videos, and he brought a dimension to I am the way, the truth, and the life from a selling perspective that I have never seen before. That if you understand that model, selling will come easily to you, because some of you would rather die than sell. Now, when people say I'd rather die than sell, what I'm hearing is I'd rather die than make money. There is no top performer in the world today that you want to be like who is not a top salesman, from Bill Gates to Elon Musk to Mark Zuckerberg to Steve Jobs. These guys are all selling. Tony Robbins, they're all salespeople. Now, selling is not bad. It's not manipulation. It's help, especially if you are proud of your products and you know your products can solve the problem. So today, House of Saviors, I want you to go to the chat box and make welcome with me. The Don himself, Emeka Nobis. Okay, admin, can you please help me bring Emeka on? Okay, I can have him myself. Can you please unmute him for me? The Don, how are you?
Yeah, thank you, sir. I'm grateful. I'm happy to be here. I hope you cannot hear the background noise. My generators are on. You know how we are battling it over here in Nigeria. So, I'm outside.
Are you on the background? One of them is making noise. Can you unmute yourself? It seems you are okay.
Okay, can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Good.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much. I'm outside of my house because at the back of the house, there are like 3 generators on. Wow. It's one of the things we are battling so that we can better the nation, right?
I can imagine. I have no generator here at all.
So, thank you so much, sir, for having me. I'm excited. I'm glad to be here. I'm grateful that we're going to have this conversation. And as usual, I usually share from the depth of my experiences, my heart, and the things that I know. That's it basically for me. So I look forward to us having a great time as we have this conversation, sir.
Thank you very much, Emeka. So I'm not going to go into sales first. I want to start with your metamorphosis. You move from paid employment, then you started questioning things. You question religion. You were almost maybe sent packing from church. I remember the several threats and all that you've had to go through.
Yeah.
But you did not back down. And many of the things, you and I talked about is playing out, almost like 15 years later. It's playing out big time. Exactly. And people are just waking up to it. Where did that audacity come from? Because a lot of people cannot question. They would rather maintain the status quo than question what doesn't even make sense. Where did it come from? How did you get to that space?
Well, praise, you know, I will make bold to say this, that ever since I was young, I have been questioning things. So it's not today that it started out. When I was young, my parents would tell me not to relate with certain individuals from certain places. They'll tell me don't relate with the Yorubas because the Yorubas are this. They'll tell me not relate to the Hausas because they are this. They'll tell me even amongst the Igbo tribe where I come from, they'll tell you not to relate with someone from Imbiste, someone from Owerri because they are that. Every ethnic group had its own dark side that they were always painting. And so I will always ask my mom, why do you guys always tell us not to do this? If you keep hammering us with these things not to do, then who are we to relate with? Are we to relate with only you guys in the house? Or, I mean, who? And so I always kept on questioning, always asking them, why should we, even in my village, if you walk from where our house is in the village to, a few meters, there's also something that you're not supposed to do when you're relating with those individuals. Those individuals are painted with certain features, certain qualities that will make them so dark that we can't relate with them. And so I kept asking them, how can I live my life like this with all these things circling around my head on how to relate with other individuals? And so it's not just today. I've been asking these questions ever since I was a kid. And that was even what led me to study engineering, because one day I came out and I saw a plane that was flying. It had never occurred to me. I've always been seeing planes flying. And so one day I came out, as young as I was, at the age of 10, I can remember now. And I asked myself the question, how come this thing is flying in the sky? It's not a bird, but it's flying. I mean, it's big sometimes, because when they fly low, you can see that it's big. What is making this big thing to be in the sky and it's not a bird? And so I kept on asking questions, and they told, it's a group of guys, they are called aeronautical engineers. And I said to myself, I would like to be an aeronautical engineer so that I can build something that is as big as that and allow it to fly, make it fly in the sky. But then my dreams of becoming an aeronautical engineer didn't work out, because at the time my father couldn't foot the education. And so I said, okay, is there something else that I could do that is related to that? And, they said engineering. So I studied mechanical engineering. But then the questioning side of me didn't start today. It has always been there. I mean, I'm always asking how. Yesterday I was on Charles Awuze's page, and he made mention of the fact that, I think he said in about 30 years that death will become optional, that people will choose to die. They will either choose to live or they choose to die. Mm-hmm. And so trust Nigerians, everybody came there and they were like, oh, you guys are questioning God. You guys now want to be above God. And I saw all the comments people were placing there, very damning kind of, responses. And I said to guys, why don't you individuals ask how? Mm-hmm. If somebody says you can choose to die or choose not to die, why don't you ask, how can this be possible? Because many of them were quoting the scriptures in the Bible. And I said, okay, you guys actually believed that in the Bible, that Methuselah lived up to 969 years. You believed it. But in your own life, as you're living on earth, have you ever seen someone who has lived beyond 200 years? And it is the same Bible that you are actually making these arguments, based on. I'm not saying don't believe the Bible, but asking the question how allows your mind to think of possibilities, expands your thinking to see other possibilities. Because when you ask how, you begin to enter into the realm of asking questions. How is this feasible? Why is this possible? How can this happen? So I've been asking those questions. And I used to be in the Catholic Church. And back then I used to question a lot of things. I used to question, why should I go to a priest to confess? Why should I go to a fellow human being to confess my sins? And then they'll say, pray to Mary. And I'm like, why should I be praying to Mary? And they'll tell me, don't eat meat on Friday. This is Lenten season. Many Catholics don't eat meat this period. And I'm asking, if I eat meat, will God actually be angry with me? Why should God be angry with me that I'm eating just a piece of meat? Do you get it? So all those kind of questions. Some of the Reverend Fathers were not happy with my questioning. Some of them, up until today, one of them, Reverend A.J.V. Obina, who is there, he's no longer the Archbishop of Owerri Archdiocese. He's one man that I can say today in the Catholic Church that I really love how he related with me based on the fact that I was challenging certain things. And he invited me into his room, into his office, and told me that, look, Emeka, the same questions you've been asking, even as a bishop in the Catholic Church, I'm also asking those questions. So it's not bad to ask questions. And what made me leave at the time was that some of the priests were not happy with me. So instead of them answering my questions, they rather like to hush me and to shut me down and say, they would like to call you a heretic instead of answering the question. So when I left the church, and then I also got into Pentecostal church, which I also started asking the same questions. Back then, Pentecostals would come and preach to us and tell us, sprinkling holy water is wrong. Kissing the hand of the Pope is wrong. Hanging all those relics on the wall is wrong. And then I get into the Pentecostal ministries and I see people kissing the hands of Papa. I see them kissing the hands of their GO. I see them buying anointed water and sprinkling. I see them hanging pictures of their GOs on the doors and even their cars, and saying that if I hang the picture of my GO in my car, then I will not have an accident. Or even when I have an accident, I will be rescued from the accident without, So, I began to ask those same questions. And the same thing that I experienced in the Catholic Church, I started experiencing it also inside here. Do you get? So instead of them engaging me and answering the questions, I became a heretic somehow, someone that should not even be related with, But then, it was audacious. It was something. At some point, I was receiving threats from pastors and from individuals who were defending God. They would send those things in my inbox. They'll send me threats in my inbox. But then I'll read them and I'll just smile over them. Some of them I blocked. Some of them I just let them. And trust me, some of them 10 years, 5 years down the line, some of them have come back to me to apologize for attacking me in my inbox, for calling me names and all that. And some of them will come back and say, oh, I've seen the light. That thing that you've been saying, you used to say many years ago, now I've seen the need for it. And I embrace them and I shake them and I tell them, when I went to train at, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, I saw why they were behaving the way they were behaving, and today I engage them with love and with affection. And I'm happy that some of them still attack me till today, even though I don't do that as much as I used to do. I think back then on Facebook, I used to do it with a mixture of anger. So I was angry at the church. I was angry at people. I was angry at. So, but now it's a lot more. I think with coming of age, I'm 42 now, going 43. So the way that I used to do that with anger is no longer the same way I used to do now. Now I just go in and chip in, and then I see what people are saying. I just see how they are responding. But back then it was back to back every Sunday. I was raising one topic or the other, which led me to write the book on church back then. But then, even in the things that I do now, questioning is also an everyday thing for me. So if I'm selling something, I'm marketing something, I'm asking the question, how can I do better? How can I make this happen? How can I make this one happen? So that's been my journey, ever since
Thank you very much. Thank you, Emeka. I can relate perfectly with you because, I've been asking questions since I was young. My mom is on the call, so she'll tell you. I've always asked questions. I've always been very, very different because I have a different worldview about several issues, even till now. Someday we're going to have a session on religion in House of Stephen, and I'm going to bring you back so that we can zoom in on religion and how Africa needs to become free someday. But let's focus on shameless marketing. Now, shameless marketing is a concept that I think you are become the father of shameless marketing. I don't know if you have trademarked it. I think you should, because
I've tried to trademark it. It's still in the process. But my happiness is the fact that there has been shameless. The word shameless has been there. Marketing has been there. But one day I just Googled, I'm like, okay, it was someone that said it to me because they saw the way that I was. I usually don't really care about what people say. So I would just share my things on social media. And somebody just mentioned one day, guy, you're too shameless. So, look at the way we rate you. But I think it was the day that I wrote. I remember the day, I think it was the day that I wore shorts. And then I took a picture of my legs. My legs are not so fine. So I took a picture of my legs wearing shorts. I think that was on my 40th birthday or my 39th birthday. So I wrote something regarding to how my legs were and how I have adopted, I love myself and all that. And so one guy looked and said, man, Emeka, with all the things we see you on Facebook do, we expect you to to be at a certain level where there are certain things you shouldn't be doing anymore. Guy, you did shameless. And I was like, wow, shameless. And he connected. Shameless marketing, so I took on it and I went on Google. I Googled it and I didn't see any book on shameless marketing. I didn't see anybody just, projecting that. So I said, okay, I think this is something that I can start projecting, because I've seen a lot of individuals who are so good at what they do, but they are shameful. I mean, they are shameful of the great things, shameful about how they can put their words out there, shameful about what they are doing, what their parents will say, what their spouses will say. I mean, you see somebody who, like my wife sells pap, and somebody one day was like, how are you so confident talking about a graduate selling pap, selling akamu? I'm like, so that showed me that some individuals have created something, but they are shameful about putting that thing out in the faces of individuals. So they will rather put it away. Like I met a girl. This girl does, she cuts fruits, people who sell fruits. And I asked her one day, why is it that you're not putting this thing you're selling on social media? She was like, she doesn't know what her friends will say. Her friends may laugh at her that after leaving school, she's now selling fruits. I'm like, man, so there are so many other individuals who are like that, who are not putting out word about what they are doing because they are thinking about what people will say about them. So that concept of shameless marketing is me making people to understand that they can push beyond their comfort zones. The world needs what they have. Let them be shameless about putting out there, talk about it. Because if you look at it, even in the church, how many times do you see the church talk about the good deeds that they do? I mean, check out many pastors that like Tony Rappo. I mean, I didn't even know that somebody like Salvation Ministries here in Port Harcourt, I didn't even know that they have a program where Pastor David Ibiome pays for individuals to come and learn how to, to learn IT. But they don't talk about it. They keep quiet about it. But then look at when the church does the wrong things, people begin to amplify it. And so they will bring up this and say, your left hand should not know what your right hand is doing. If your right hand is doing good, your left, and that is why we don't have many good narratives about the church in our times. And so people will see only the bad ones, all those things that they do. Like the other day, somebody, this Pastor Bushiri guy was boasting that if a car doesn't have an engine, he can pray and the car will move even without engine. And people began to laugh about it and began to make mockery of the whole thing. But the good things that the church, people in the church are doing, I mean, they seem like they don't want to talk about it. They are shameful about it. They say, don't talk about yourself. Let other people blow your trumpet. I mean, people are busy with their issues to even blow my own trumpet. So I need to start out blowing my own trumpet by myself, and then the movement will start increasing. People will now come to help me to even blow the trumpet even louder. So that's how I came up with that concept. And I've been pushing it. I'm writing a book on it, but the book will be out in 2024, not now. What I'm doing is that I'm doing a movement around it so that when anybody hears anything shameless marketing, is a marketing style for me, creating the awareness even before the product comes out. And so all through last year, I did tours. I was, in 7 cities, and everything that I taught was centered around the topic shameless marketing. People who were inviting me to churches and to events and to seminars, everything that I was teaching last year was shameless marketing. So now people connect me with the name. Anywhere they see anything happening, they say, Emeka no be shameless marketing. Emeka no be shameless marketing. And I like it because as I'm adopting it, by the time the book is now coming out, people will now say, boom, Emeka Nobis, this is the book. Boom, Emeka Nobis has been teaching shameless marketing. Boom, I like what he's been doing. Let me go buy the book. So I think I'm speaking so much, but that's what it is for me.
But it's fine, Emeka. Somebody is thinking that, maybe this shameless marketing is desperation, right?
No,
so a lot of people don't want to be tagged as desperate. So they want people to look at them as fine people, it's not desperate, it's not, so let other people blow your trumpet. If God wants your product to sell, it will sell. How do you handle that? And I want you to answer the question in the light of, I saw one of your sessions where you said, you were quoting, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And I was like, this guy is mad. I can relate. if your product is the way, your product is your solution is the truth, your solution is the life, it can keep people alive. I think whether you have to sell it desperately or whatever, what can you speak more to that? And I don't know how God came about that.
That particular statement has made people think that I am a heretic. They think that what's the word now? That I'm equating myself with God, and some individuals have come to call me names, but you know me now. I don't really care. It was one day I woke up in the morning. I was reading the Bible, and I saw that where Jesus was saying, "I'm the light, I'm the way, the truth, the way, and the life." And I started pondering. This man was bold enough to tell people that. I mean, in a time where nobody could open his mouth to say such a thing. And why did he even say that? Because he's the truth, he's the way, he's the life. I mean, he's the product. He came and he's the product. The product is, I'm going to put you into the light. I'm going to save your souls. You have been in the dark. I want you to come into the light. So that's the product. So if you look at it in terms of your product, the products that you have, products that you created, I mean, you're taking people from the darkness into the light. For example, the person you mentioned that can help individuals overcome trauma and pain. And I mean, for her to be able to do that, it means that individuals have been in the dark. They can walk with you because you're the product that can lead them from the darkness into pleasure, darkness into light, from hopelessness into hope. And so I look at myself and I say, all these things that I've been doing on Facebook, all these things I've been creating, all these words that I've been putting out there, every day that I wake up, every day that I wake up, I receive about 5 to 10 messages on certain days, depending on how active I have been on Facebook. In the days prior, I get up to 50 messages every day on my messenger. I mean, my WhatsApp is like a marketplace. People thanking me for the content that I create. People thanking me for my books that I've read. People thanking me for the ebooks. People thanking me for the trainings. And I look at it, yes, I have been leading people away from the darkness. I've been putting them into the light. And so they have been following my way to move from where they have been to somewhere else. So it's the same thing that Jesus Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. If you follow me, you enter into the light. If you follow my words, you enter into, if you follow my way, you're going to leave that crooked way and move into the straight way. So I want them is a belief system, first and foremost, when it has to do with projecting and communicating about what it is that you about your product. You have to believe yourself. For example, look at, I don't know if you're in Canada, but I don't know how it is like that over there. But when you're in Nigeria, you meet individuals who go to the offices and they're trying to sell you policies. Some of them can't even look into your face to tell you. Yeah. Some of them their shoulders are droopy when they're talking to you. Sometimes it's about, they don't even believe the product that they're selling. They don't even believe themselves. So it's about the belief system first and foremost. What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about the product that you're selling? Jesus Christ believed in the efficacy of what he was bringing into the world. He believed in himself. He believed in what he was communicating. He believed in the product which he brought, which is the product of salvation. So it is the same thing that I'm teaching people. Believe in yourself. Be shameless about what it is that you are bringing. As long as that thing is not destroying people's lives. I know that, when it has to do with products, there are many products. So like Ashawo also, they're also selling their own thing. They're selling pleasure. They're selling, they also have what they're selling. But I am talking in terms of goodness. I'm not here to talk about Ashawo business or those who are, cocaine business and all that. I'm talking in terms of the light and the good. They're also doing their own business. They also have products. When I'm in a mixed environment where we have the atheists, and then we can do all those assessments, and then the section about product in the light of being moral and not being moral. But in the light of what we are doing in church and in the kingdom, I'm talking about products that are about the light, about good, that don't harm people's lives, right? When they are using it. So when you know that your product is something that can be very beneficial to help people to overcome their pain, overcome their pressures of life, overcome their darkness, overcome their grief, please understand that that product is the way. Understand that product is the light and that product is the truth. Accept it. It's not about you equating yourself with God. Somebody said yesterday and said, on that post, Charles Awuze's post, somebody said, how can God stay and watch people begin to become immortal? And I asked the guy a question. Will God have a problem with immortality? If he become immortal, what will he remove from God? The guy didn't answer that question. If I decide to be immortal, does he change God? Does he change him from being God? Does he change her from being God? Or which if we're using him and her? And the guy couldn't answer the question. And so, I mean, if I say that my product is a lie, does it in any way affect God? Does it in any way become angry? Doesn't he want more lights in the world? Doesn't he want more ways in the world? Doesn't he want more? I mean, so that is how I look at myself. People may say I don't know, but that's it. And to tell you the truth, many of the individuals where I have gone to share this same thing, whether they call it revelation or rhema, whichever, the same words, to see yourself as the truth, to see your products as the way, to see your product as the light. I mean, I've seen individuals transform, and I see how they come online, because that's where usually I play my game. I've seen them transform. I've seen how bold they have become, how audacious they have become, how, I mean, they are rising every day and sharing. They're rising every day and communicating. They're rising every day and putting themselves out there, and I'm happy. That happiness shows that, man, this thing is sinking, and it's sinking well. Now, so that's it for me, basically.
Emeka, you know, you are touching on a lot of things, because we always forget that Jesus just showed up on the scene, and he began to make this announcement. We were not even in heaven to know that maybe it came from God. You know, a human being came and began to say, I'm the way, when you can't even mention God. And we have all bought into his ideology.
If you check, he did not say I am a way. He said I am the.
I am the way.
It's a definite article. I mean, if we look at it, he didn't say I'm a way. Now, before you go ahead, let me make you understand, I mean, a scenario when it has to do with that the way, because he's telling you I'm the. There could be other people who are ways, but I am the way. You get what I mean? Like if you go to a bank, in Nigeria, for example, Zenith Bank or UBA or any one of them. If you try this experiment, for those of us who are in Nigeria, I don't know if it happens, but a woman told me in the UK that she tried it and it worked. And she came back to tell me, go to any of these banks, you know, don't even ask anybody inside of the bank, maybe the officers, or just go to the gate man and tell them that you want to get to, if you've been to Zenith, tell them that you want to go to Union Bank, or tell them that you want to go to GT Bank. Check what I've tried it most times. Maybe things have changed now with the level of communication. We saw during Valentine's Day how MTN was collaborating with Airtel and Globe. But on a normal day, if you go and ask them, please show me the way to Zenith, to GT Bank, if you are Zenith Bank, those people will tell you, just they go. You know why? Because they don't want to refer you to another, not in terms of competition, but the bank is the bank, not a bank. The bank is the bank. So they believe that the bank has the solution that you need. Referring you to a bank, it is not in alignment to it. They believe that they are the truth, the way, and the life. So that's how I view it, basically. So Jesus came and did not tell you I'm the way. I'm a way. I'm just a way. He's telling you that I am the. There's the definite article to it, the definiteness to it. So when you're raising your product, raise it with all boldness. This product is the product that can solve the problem that you have. This product is the product that can take you away from darkness into the light. So it's about belief, basically. It's not braggadocio or anything. It's just about the belief. So that when you embrace this belief and it becomes your essence, when you are projecting what you're marketing there, I mean, people will sense that absolute confidence in it, and people buy into confidence. They buy into authenticity. Because if you show that, like I say, this product, if it work or if it no work, again, they begin to lose that faith. That's why when I wake up in the morning and I put out my book there and I say, this book, if you buy your book, we sell. This is the Bible that you need to read to be able to solve your book, solve your marketing problems. People will be like, this Emeka Nobis, this guy, they're mad. But do you know that madness is what they love? Because for me to be able to rise and say, this is the book, they say there's something that's giving this boy confidence to say that this book is what they need. And that's how they buy. Do you get? So that's for me. I just wanted to explain that, in terms of the definite article and indefinite article.
Thank you very much, Emeka. Why is it that? Because the people who sell fake products, substandard products, they seem to understand what you are saying.
Exactly.
But that's the people who sell, because on social media now, I see young girls sell breast. In fact, I see them sell sex shamelessly now. I mean, it never used to be like that.
Exactly.
On TikTok, they sell it with their full chest. Somebody will say, come and have sex with me now. I see guys who sell, in fact, the real estate is a mess. People who don't have the land, they will sell a land that doesn't exist to you, and people are rushing to pay. Then you will see someone who has a good product that is authentic, that is good. The person cannot. Why is it like that? What exactly is the problem? And I know a lot of them are on this platform. If you are like that, can you just wave, give us a wiper and say, "Hi, your product is authentic, but you are ashamed to sell it"? Can you just say, "Hi"? Be honest. Why is it like that? How can they overcome that challenge?
But I think the whole thing largely is as a result of upbringing, and let me use the word religious belief, because every one of us, I've argued this thing before, we're all religious human beings. When people say this religion, there's bad and good religion. That's how I believe, because I feel that every one of us, religion, even if you're worshiping God, there's a code of ethics, there's a code of belief, there's a ritual that you go through to be able to do what you do. So I believe that that's what religion embodies. But I feel that why people do this is because of the religious indoctrination, the belief. I said it already at the beginning, when they say that your left hand should not see what your right hand is doing. I remember a particular day when I wrote something that I gifted somebody something. Somebody came there and said to me, why am I praising myself for giving somebody something? And I know that this is a problem a lot of individuals are facing, because when they do good, they don't want to announce the good. But I tell you that by virtue of announcing the good that I did within certain boundaries, for example, I cannot go to a war situation, perhaps, and then, or maybe somebody has cancer, and I go to the person's house, and I go with a video camera and say, okay, be videoing me as I'm helping this person that is living with cancer. And then I go and put it out there. The woman that has cancer, they see my face as I am doing. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about doing good and reporting that you have done good. So many individuals believe that you don't need to do that. They believe that somebody else should announce the good that you've done. But I tell individuals that by announcing the good thing that I have done, I am sending a message that can reverberate like when you throw, like ripples on a pond, touching other individuals to begin to accept that doing good should be our natural essence, should be our natural state of living. So I believe it's because of the religious things. They will tell you that the proud person will be humbled by God, that the God will now raise the humble individual. And then you're forming humility. You now stay there and be waiting for God to raise you as a humble person. You keep your mouth shut and waiting for God. Meanwhile, God there, they look you, send you. God is telling you, expose your light, but you are there with your hand in between your leg, like a beating puppy on a rainy day, and you're waiting for God to come and be shouting. You are wasting your time. You are wasting your time. You are supposed to expose the light. What happens to the one that said you are the light? Whoever lights a candle and puts it under a bushel, read that one. That one don't enter your head. It's all those ones that are disempowering. That's the one that you'll be accepting. You'll be accepting it and be happy with it. They will tell you, God raises. It is a nonsensical definition of pride. Is God not supposed to be proud of you that you are showing your light? There's what is called haughtiness, and there's what is called being proud. You should be proud of your achievements. Don't you know that time when we were young? Check it now, even in the village, when you were young and you did something. I remember when I wrote WAEC and I smashed 9 alphas. Come and see my dad. My dad was all over the estate. His hand was always like this. My son, everywhere. My son had 9 alphas. That's to show that even my earthly dad, my biological dad, was proud of me, raising his hand. You needed to see me. I was a star in the estate because my dad will always be everywhere, telling people that my son had 9 alphas. So 1997 was that was my year of stardom, because everybody knew Emeka Nobis that I had 9 alphas in government secondary school for that matter, And so if my father could be proud of me, what about our Heavenly Father? Won't he be proud that we are showcasing our lights on earth? But you are there. So check yourself, check the belief system that you have accepted. Are they empowering you or are they disempowering you? It's basically because of the religious system that we have. They will say, don't talk. Don't make too much noise. Don't talk about yourself. If you talk about yourself, it's pride. If you talk about yourself, it's braggadocio. Who will talk about? This morning I read a post. Somebody said, don't come to me with your a lot. This thing we say that we are facing a lot. My own a lot is even more than your own a lot. So day with your own a lot. Make I day my day with my own a lot. If everybody is daying with their a lot, who will now be blowing my own trumpet? It's for me to come out first and blow it. Pam, 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 pam. Friends, can I tell you something that happened in the city of Port Harcourt? So last year, I decided I was going to take a bold decision. I paid and I hired 3 big billboards together, 3 big billboards at the intersection of, if you ask Colonel Lago will tell you when he came into Port Harcourt and saw that billboard. I went to the center of GRA, sir. And on one side is Market Square. Market Square is one of the biggest supermarkets in Port Harcourt now. And then Genesis Cinema was on one side. And then we had Jevnik restaurant on one side. Yeah. At the intersection of these 3 places, these 3 mighty conglomerates, or whatever I call it, I put my billboard with my face. Only, sir, my face on one side, as big as my face was. And then on one side, I put my name, The Dawn. And I said something very powerful on that billboard regarding people reaching out to me if they wanted to become famous and influential and all that. People began to say, who be this guy? Is this guy a member of an occult? Because I had my cap, this Don's cap. I had my Don's cap on my head. People were like, I say this guy now, occult guy. Who be this? If I had done that thing now, they would have thought that I'm running for election. Maybe people would not be looking for me on ballot paper to vote for me. Because it was a very bold decision. Guess what happened, sir? Guess what happened? The big pastors in the Port Harcourt that I have been wanting to connect to began to reach out to Pastor Larry Olusheye of House on the Rock, asking for my number, my phone number. The day Larry Olusheye saw me at an event, I didn't even know that this man knew me. I had spoken and I went to sit down jejely. Pastor Larry now went after speaking. Do you know after the whole thing? They now called us out on the stage to come and be presented with certificates. As I got my own, as I wanted to, Pastor Larry grabbed me and said, Emeka Nobis, come here. I said, sir, your boy is loyal. He said, stop forming all this loyalty. Stop forming humility. Maybe it's you that went and put billboard in. Your billboard is now intimidating us in Port Harcourt. It was a bold statement. I decided to show my light in the city of Port Harcourt. Sir, I can tell you the truth. I walk into a pharmacy. Somebody says, it is you. Are you not Emeka Nobis on the billboard? I say, it's me. Or I'll be forming humble. It's me. And people will tell me, don't buy, don't pay. I'll enter pharmacy. They will say, don't pay. I'll enter Uber. I will sit down beside the driver in Uber or boat. The guy will look at me. And when they look once and look away, they will now look again and say, Oga, is it not you that is on a billboard? I say, don't pay. Don't, just the fact that I'm with you in the car, don't even pay. I was entering ride and not paying. I was happy, enjoying myself. I'll enter because I decided to be bold and brave and to show my light.
Wow.
So I can't tell you what that thing did for me. Just by doing that singular thing of putting my billboard, my face boldly with my name and Emeka Nobis. People will come into Port Harcourt and say, who is this guy? Because that particular place in Port Harcourt, if you are in Port Harcourt and you pass that GRA, you must pass that area. It's a big place. People pass there. They see me on the billboard and all that. Some people went and tore the billboard. After 3 days, I replaced it back again. Wow. And I was back there. So it's about showing your life, your light, showing yourself, being unashamed, putting yourself out there. I can tell you, it wasn't about people reaching out to me to buy. It was the fact to tell them that Emeka Nobis is in Port Harcourt and I'm here to make a statement. Even now, I'm planning it. There's a guy that I'm planning with now. He's helping me to do blogging while we share. So I told him, as these monies from blogs start coming in, maybe $1,000, $2,000, I told him my singular aim is to start hiring billboards not only in Port Harcourt, in Lagos, in Abuja. You see all those places in Abuja, when you're entering Abuja, big, I'll go there and put it. In Lagos, in that Lekki, I don't target those ones in Lekki. I'll just go and put it. Only me will just be there because I am making a statement that you have to be bold and showcase yourself because don't blow it. No more. Yes, sir.
No, is it
so
not
that's just
amazing? It's amazing. What you are sharing is so profound that these are the things we do for other people we believe in. So it's okay for us to gather money and put our pastor's billboard all over town and advertise our church. Meanwhile, our own product that is feeding us, we can't do that for ourselves. Thank
God that you said this. Let me say something to cut you off. If you check, okay, now January has gone, but check December when churches are doing their okay, let's use January when they are doing their special programs and all. They will give them emblem. They will wear front and back. People will wear front. We are at the back. They are showcasing. I don't have any problem with that too. They are showcasing Salvation Ministries. Then one day they invited me to one of those events in Port Harcourt, and thankfully those guys were inside the program wearing their big. I think Christ Embassy was there. Salvation Ministries were there. They were bold enough to showcase, that big tag that they wear. They wear the tag in front of their shirt and all that. Happy that they're proposing Jesus. I said, I don't have problem, guys. But I said to them, how many of you in this Port Harcourt that you're running businesses, have you ever showcased yourself like this? Like, can you ever think of that you go and carry a billboard? I mean, this billboard that they can hang on the neck, not tag, and write about your business and go to a very popular junction where people are passing and just stand there with your billboard, maybe with your hands like this. Do you know the kind of commotion that you're going to cause that day? People will stop and say, who be this guy? They will snap pictures of you. Trust me, one day, it's not that I'm becoming popular that security is not becoming an issue for me, but trust me, one day I'm going to do it in the city of Port Harcourt. I will hire soldiers to stay in certain locations and be watching me. And then I will go to a central place in Port Harcourt with billboard on my body and all that. And then I will paint myself and I will be like this and be turning up and down and all that. People will be taking pictures. My name will be on it. Do you know how viral that I will go? They would snap pictures and by themselves market me on TikTok, market me on Instagram, market me on Facebook by themselves. I will go viral. And I began to tell people in the audience, have you ever thought about this? The way you are carrying your church name, I don't have issues, but have you done it for your personal brand? Have you done it for your business brand? All of them are like this. So I say, you are making sense. I say, yes. You do this for people, but what about yourself? Can't you market yourself? Can't you be brave and bold and market? Because there's the goodness inside of you that the world needs. But you are quiet. You are waiting for somebody to come and be telling other people about you that this guy is good. Blow the trumpet first. As you are blowing it, you find out other individuals, this guy with the blow trumpet like this, like saying, I wear salvation, they'll go and buy their own trumpet and stand to be blowing it with you because they feel that salvation will come from blowing trumpet. That's how it is, sir. That's why I tell people, be shameless about what you're offering. If it is Maggi you are selling, show it. If it is Bomo you are selling, show us. If it is, look at now, people are being proud now to be talking about, I see certain things I see on Instagram and I'm like, man, people are bold and I'm liking it. You are selling okra. Be bold to sell it. You are selling kuli kuli. Didn't you see the one that happened kuli kuli before? I think it was beginning of the year where somebody said 1 billion. Kuli kuli became the order of the day. People now began to know kuli kuli. I liked it, even though they said the woman lied in a way or the other, But then that's what it is. Whatever it is that that is beneficial to people, that God has put inside of you to create, to help humanity. Be shameless about it. Put it out there physically. If you can go physically, do it. I love it. There's a woman that was brought to the complex where where my office is here in Port Harcourt. I love the woman. Other women were not doing it. They cook for us. We have a big complex where our offices are. So there's a woman downstairs that sells food. I noticed that since I started staying in that complex 2020, all the other ones we want us to come down to buy. But this woman, when she was employed to start selling food in that particular place, do you know what this woman does? She goes to doors. She'll come to my door, she'll knock, she'll open and say, sir, we smile, oh, fine woman, she'll smile, now, she'll come and smile, sir, won't you eat this afternoon? She does this around 12, 11 a.m. in the morning, because many of us don't eat there in the morning, because we go in the morning, we eat from home and we go. But lunchtime, the woman will come, we start around 11, go into people's offices with her notepad, and she'll smile, sir, we have this for this afternoon, no, won't you like to eat? I know you have been working hard. She'll be smiling as she's telling you. And then you tell her, okay, what do you have? She'll write down. This woman, they sell out every day. That is shameless marketing. I mean, she will send you, she will knock on your door, open. So if you have for me, it's online, basically. I'm always there shouting every day, talking about myself, my product and all that. But there's also the offline side. So if you have the energy for the offline, when you can walk around, meet people, go around, I mean, by all means, knock on doors, go to people's houses, talk to them, enter places. I'm building a real estate company now with my brother, and that is what we are using. Physically going to market squares, going to markets, meeting their what's they called, the heads of associations. We are going to many places, knocking door. Highest, you tell us no. As a marketer, no and yes, we are at peace with it. I'm at peace, so I don't send your no. Sometimes as even they tell me no, I'm finding way to pitch again. So be at peace. If somebody is telling you no, it's not about you, it's about them. Don't personalize no, like as if you are toasting someone and they rejected you. No, don't. For me, no and yes are just my normal ways. They are normal to me. Whether you tell me yes or you tell me no, it's normal to me. My own is to project the goodness that I have for you and then allow you to make a buying decision.
Thank you very much, Emeka. I think I have about 2 or 3 more questions for you. You mentioned about pitching. I know that there must be a science around it, right? Yes. So if I want, because many people try to sell, but they are begging. They say, please help me buy this product. Or, if you don't buy this product now, my children will be sent out of school. How does someone pitch successfully? What's the science behind it? And what can we learn from? And I must say to you that, what you have been sharing is simply a scripture from the days of John the Baptist till now. The kingdom suffers abnormality, and only the abnormal are present. So that's what the Good News Translation says. Now, so how can people pitch successfully? Are there strategies or maybe 5 steps or 3 steps or things that they need to know, so that after this meeting, someone can go out there and pitch?
Okay, so the first thing I've told about the mindset, all right? So we have to have a bold mindset, audacious mindset, belief in yourself, because if you don't have a great belief in yourself, you can't be able to pitch well. So that boldness, that confidence, that ability, that's why sometimes there are also expressions of it. It could be in the dressing. That's why when you go to the bank, you see bankers dressed well. So if you are, for example, you are pitching real estate, maybe you are pitching land of, say, 12 million. You cannot be dressed awfully to go and pitch to someone to come and buy your land. You have to be dressed. So I'm talking about expressions, but that is as a result of the offshoots of your belief system first. Your belief has to be solid in yourself. Then the second thing is to be, for me, as I said, is always about the good. To be authentic. Do not push what you know is a lie. I have never pushed anything that is a lie. I cannot see something that is a lie and then I'm pushing it to my audience. No, because I care for the audience. I care for their lives. I care for their transformation. I care for their joys. So I cannot see something that is a lie and I'll bring it to systems of integrity, of honesty. Trust me. Remember you said something about me that many, many years ago, it looked like as if I was not, but I kept at it because I was functioning on the tenets of integrity, of goodness, and to say the truth. So I kept at it because when people keep seeing you, that you are consistent with what you're doing, you keep being consistent, telling the truth, standing on integrity and all that, then their belief system, their beliefs about you will start changing. And as their beliefs are changing, it means that I'm now started accepting you, and then they can buy into what it is that you're offering. The next thing I want to share with you with that is you have to understand the buying audience. And that is why for me, online is a little bit easier. What you are putting out online will attract the kind of individuals that you are looking for. If you put out tatafu all the time, just love that stuff. Somebody nyash don't shoot, somebody breast don't shoot. Then you are inviting individuals who will be looking for nyash. those who will be looking for breast to be coming. Then when you now project something that has to do with life or light, they'll be like, they'll start looking at you. This one is okay, because that's not what you're projecting. So for me, online is even easier to build, because the kind of things that I showcase online brings the individuals that I loved in my direction, those that I want to listen to my ideologies, those that I want to listen to my marketing messages. So what audience are you building for yourself? Have you understood the kinds of individuals that you need to go to? So when it has to do with offline, so if I'm going to pitch to someone, you have to study the individual, understand what the individual loves, understand their pet peeves, understand, for example, as you are now, you love Manchester United and they cannot beat you 7-0. And I know they beat you 7-0. And the next day I'm in the office to come and pitch to you, and I'm wearing the jersey of Liverpool. Yeah, that's already inviting trouble now. You already invited trouble for yourself. No matter how good you are, that thing going to pay you. Say they beat you 7-0 last night, and this person is wearing Liverpool jersey to come and be pitching to you. That's madness. You will lose it. So you have to offline. You have to understand the individual that you are going to pitch to. Understand what they love. Understand how they want to be presented to. Understand even timing to reach out to them. All right. So all those things have to be like I know when I was reading Strive Masiyiwa will say that before they pitch something to an investor, they spend 9 months to study the investor. I'm like, what? They buy books. Sometimes they even travel. Sometimes they even send somebody to go and start working for that organization and start studying the organization. And after 9 months, they're able to pitch well. So that's the art behind it. Do you understand the audience, the person that you're selling to, your marketing to? What do they love? How do they love to be pitched to? How do they love to be accepted? How do they love to be spoken to? It's very important. Let me make you understand something, because we keep learning. All right. Sometimes because women form a bulk of the people that buy from me, I've come to understand that women love when you want to market to them, they love good words. It is a struggle for me most times because I didn't grow up in a family where they easily say I love you or those nice words. My father wasn't like that, even though he's a good man. My mom wasn't like that. So now to even go and be telling women that they sometimes it's like it's forced, but I realize that that's what they want to hear. So I see someone at a conference or at a seminar and I look at the hair and I'm saying, man, your hair is nice. Automatically the person starts to do mushu mushu. And it's an easy way to even begin to project and market what you've got. So understand and study the individual that you want to market to, the individual that they want to buy from you. The next thing I want to share there is consistency. All right, the consistency, because they told us in marketing, or what we've studied in marketing, that the average individual will see something 21 times before they believe in it. The average, that's what they say, the average. I mean, they taught us that in marketing. The average, that's why you see me, if I am marketing a product, I'm always there every day using different touch points. So in the morning, I'm sharing something different. In the morning, I can share a visual. In the afternoon, I can share a written text. In the evening, I can do video. So I am projecting the same product using multiple touch points so that the individual keeps seeing. And at some point, the individual in the mind, the thing is telling him, oh, this guy is what I need this guy. I need what he's offering. So you cannot say you're marketing and I see some individuals, they wake up on Facebook, they write one post and somebody they didn't buy. They get angry. I'm like, only one. Me, I do like 10 every day. Only one that you did, you're angry. Some days when the spirit is working inside of me, I do like 20 every day. So consistency. That is why people like, organizations like Airtel, MTN, they're always in your face. Be bored, you see them. On TV, you turn on your TV, you see them. You're watching Channels TV, you see them. Consistency is key. The more you repeat, the more people begin to believe in what you're offering, and then they want to buy. So there are many other things, but I believe that these are the things that can be able to okay, the final point I would say is that study your product and understand its features and its benefits. Me, I like to say more of benefits than the features. I listen to individuals on radio And then when I hear them, they are always talking about the features. Let's use Nokia, for example. How many of us here used Nokia? All right. I mean, Nokia 3310. Praise. I remember, I don't know if you use Nokia 3310, but I used it.
Yes, I do.
But if you want to say something about Nokia 3310, you will say something like the battery lasts for 3 days without charging. Mm-hmm. You will say something like, if I take that 3310 to the village, I don't need to be always charging it. It will be there for like 3 days, 4 days before I'll now go and look for a charger. Somebody who has a generator outside of my home that doesn't have light to charge it. People will say something like, you throw that Nokia 3310 from upstairs to a land down, scatter, you go down, pack it again, the phone will be back to life. Those are benefits that you ought to be pushing out there. Let me give you a very clear example, when it has to do with benefits and features. So I met this woman that shares, I've shared this in many places. She sells smoothies. And then she was marketing to me her smoothie. And then she'll be saying something like anion, radicals in the body. This smoothie will help you to kill the radicals. Radicals, free roaming radicals in your body are the things that will cause cancer and all that. And I say, Madam, I understand though, all the things you're saying, free radicals are not free radicals. You have to be healthy, you have to be I say, but Madam, these are not the things that people want to hear. She said, what? I say, yes, okay, listen now. Madam, this smoothie that you have, can it help me to perform well in the other room? I mean, I want to perform well. She said, yes. So she now began to mention the kind of smoothie she had, that when you take it, you enter the room, when you perform, you finish work. I said, okay, Madam, what of those who are always pressing phone online? They're always pressing phone. And when they are done pressing phone, they cannot sleep well. Do you have smoothie for that? She said, yes. She began to mention the smoothie. I said, okay, Madam, what of women who want big breasts? All these women who have small breasts, they want to have big breasts. Do you have that kind of smoothie? She said, yes. So she began to mention the smoothie that for growing big breasts. I said, okay, Madam, do you have the one that a woman, some women, when they give birth, milk is not coming out from their breast. Do you have a smoothie that will help them to be producing milk? She said, yes. So, and she began to produce. I said, so you have all these things, and you're telling me free radical, anion, and you're the one, you're wasting my time. Tell me that when I look at the man. I mean, haven't you seen these guys that sell bruntashi on the road? These Hausa people, they'll just see me walking on the road. They'll not be telling me, that they are bottled. Okay? First, they will see your ring go. That is what they have looked at the prospect. They look at the prospect and say, this guy is married. He has the ring on his hand. He needs to be firing down. And then they will come to me and tell me, they'll be shaking that bottle. I've seen them many times on the road in Port Harcourt. They'll be shaking the bottle and tell me, Oga, you finish, Madam, this night. And they look at me and say, guy, how do you know that I need this thing? He said, but you are married now. You need to finish work. Because they have looked at me, they have profiled me. I'm a powerful prospect for them. And that's why they want to sell. So I say, Madam, you have all these things and you be telling me anion and radical. These are the benefits you should be sharing. Tell them that when you take this one, all those men that when they are finished working in the office, when they go home, take this smoothie. When you enter the room, everywhere, fire will catch everywhere. That is what we want to hear. The benefits, not the features. So always talk about your benefits. The more you talk about the benefits of your product and how it can help people in the simplest way possible, and putting the emotional things, emotional hints behind the offers that you're making. That is what is going to make human beings to buy. Not about the features, whether the thing is 120 megawatts or 5,000 megawatts. I'm not really interested. I need to be interested in the benefits. So that's the art and science behind. There's so many other things, authenticity, your value system and all, but I feel that these ones can be of great help to people who have joined. I mean, people are saying that I'm mad in the comment section.
Emeka, you're actually mad. You're actually mad. Now, my second to the last question for you will be, I mean, you also talk about people building community. And, yes. I know that a lot of people, funny enough, we do it. So they tell you, evangelize, bring more people. That's building community. We do it for religious organization, but people can't do it for themselves. What is the place of building a community in selling out? And what would you recommend as strategies for people to build an effective community?
So every organizations that we see, MTNO, name them, Renault, Toyota. All these organizations are on the hunt for audiences. Coca-Cola is building audiences offline and online, because the more of the people you have in your community, the more the wealth can flow into your bag. So we must, that is why for me, I'm always, every day that I wake up, I'm checking my Facebook to see how many people have followed me. I'm at 86,000 now. This morning I checked and I found out that I'm now 86,700 and something. By next week now, I'll be 87,000. Before you know it now, I'll be 90,000 to 100,000 followers. Every day, I'm checking my followership on social media to see, because I need a bigger audience. The more my audience, the more the benefits for me. The more the money can come in, the more I can leverage on my audience to be able to make more money, the more that they can push my word out there. There's a lot of benefits for building an audience, all right? So the thing is this, building an audience is basically, for me, I build the audience online, so I can share with you a few things that I do when it has to do with building audiences, all right? So the first thing, as I said, to identify specifically what that thing that you ought to be doing. People must notify you for something specific. I understand that there's something that's serial entrepreneurship, which is great, but when it has to do with personal branding, right? You have to be able to be known for something. So people know me. I don't do things that I have to do. Yeah, I know that politically now people have been putting my word out there, but I'm not running for any political post. I'm just talking about supporting someone. But when it has to do with writing, people call my name. When it has to do with marketing, people call my name. When it has to do with selling, people call my name. But I do not see my name called when they call me, when they say entertainment, because I'm not an entertainer. I'm not a musician. I'm not a comedian. Hardly will even see comedic stuff on my timeline, except comedic stuff that also have to do with people knowing that I'm a human being also, all right? So be specifically known for something. That's the first point. The second point is you have to shamelessly communicate that thing that you're about. Because if you look at it, how did Christianity come to having the billions of followers? It started with 12 disciples that Jesus Christ sent into the world. Anyway, let me not say, because people will say that Jesus Christ was not a Christian though, but I want to use it in that manner. Let me use that as an example. He sent these 12 disciples and say, go into the world and go and spread the good news. Spreading the good news is communicating. How can people know what you're about if you are not communicating? You have to communicate. You cannot be Jesus Christ left the carpenter's shed and went into the tabernacle, into the temple, to go and tell them, I am the way, the truth, and the life. You've got to be able to, having identified what it is that you're about, your message. The second thing is to communicate your message. So every day that I wake up, I'm communicating. Offline and online, I'm communicating. I meet people where I go. I tell them who I am. I come online. I share about what I do. You've got to be consistently communicating what it is that you're about. As you communicate, people will say, come and see you. As they read you, they say, oh boy, this guy, they make sense. So come and see. Guys, come and see this guy. I found the good news. I found a good guy. I found somebody who's solving my problem. That's how they start to go and bring other individuals. That's how they share your post. You wake up, you see 100 shares. You wake up, you see 30 shares, because they are believing in you as a result of what it is that you've communicated. So you start building audience like that. Then the third thing that I want to share is also, you have to be able to learn how to do public speaking. A lot of individuals who are building businesses, they think that public speaking is a lost art. You have to learn. I mean, if I didn't know how to speak, you wouldn't have called me here to come and be speaking.
Yep.
You have to be able to learn how to speak to individuals, speak in churches, speak at seminars, look at all the big names that you've mentioned before, while we're starting out. They are all big public speakers. Bill Gates, Donald Trump, Tony Elumelu, check them, Strive Masiyiwa. They invite them at events. Even our own billionaire, what's his name? The billionaire that has a Mercedes-Benz, that sells Mercedes-Benz. Even with his Jaguda English, the guy is a public speaker, whether you like it or not. So the more you speak in the audience, before individuals, you start building audiences. Like as I am now, I've been invited to speak here. I know that from here, some other individuals who have never met Emeka Nobis will now go and check me out on Facebook and follow me. This is as a result of speaking in public. Am I speaking super? No. My ability to communicate and make you hear what you saw the Indian guy. I don't know whether it was Indian guy that spoke before me. I mean, you could see that he had content, but many of us may not be hearing what he was saying in terms of his diction or whatever, but we could understand the essence of his message. So your ability to communicate, something that somebody can understand, can listen and hear, helps you to build audiences. So when I go to places, I speak, I connect, I go on radio, they invite me on TV, I'm speaking, I'm talking, and then people are flowing in my direction. Then the other thing that has to do with building community is how you relate with human beings. For me, it's not about the money. It's first and foremost about the human. When I care about a human being, then they will know that I care about them, and then they will bring out the money to give to me. So it's not about putting money first. I mean, every other individual who has met me physically, Boluwatui is here. She can tell you that the first time she met me was at an event, how I related, how I was sharing, how I was connecting to humans there. It was even a free event. So it's about the human beings first and foremost. People get shocked sometimes when they tell me, even with the way they feel that I've grown big, some of them will tell me their problem. And I'll tell them, okay, I'm coming to visit you. And they're like, how? They see me sometimes in the university hostel, and I sit down with the individual. That singular thing alone, the individual can become your powerful evangelist. They will carry you on their head and say, Emeka Nobis, oh man, this guy touched me. He left his office. He came to my hostel. He sat down with us on the bed. He humbled himself. Or more, they will carry you on their head and say, this guy, he's the best. Follow him. So the way you relate to human beings is critically important. People tell me that they enter my inbox and they expect me not to reply. And I'm like, why shouldn't I reply? They say, because I'm a big guy. They see me on Facebook. I'm a very big person. They're now expecting all these celebrities to reply. I'm saying, no, because you are human. It's because I'm human. That is why I'm relating to you. That's what is most important. So human beings, the way you relate to human beings is critically important in building your audience, in building the audiences that will eventually be part of what it is that you're sharing. Then the next point that I want to share with you is collaboration. You can't go, I mean, I know you've heard this word many places, but you cannot do it alone, or you can't go far by just being alone. Last year, I collaborated with my friend, and we went to 7 cities. We have 500-seater halls, and we are moving from place to place, including Ghana. And trust me, we had more than 10,000 followers within a period of 6 months that we did that tour. People who knew us, people who bought our books. We go to those events, we speak, and then they buy our books. Some places we sold 500,000 naira worth of books. Some places we sold 600,000 naira worth of books in one single day. It was amazing. So collaborate with people. Right now, I'm collaborating with people outside of Nigeria. I have not started talking about Europe because I want to do my things organically. So now I've related with people from Kenya. I have related with somebody from Zambia, and she now wants to introduce me to her, and eventually she'll bring me over to Zambia. The same thing with the lady in Kenya, right? So you have to find ways to collaborate with other people, collaborate with other individuals. So they expose you to their brand, to their audiences, and then you expose them to your own audience. And then it becomes, let me tell you something. Okay, 2 days or 3 days ago, I went live with something. She has 73,000 followers on Facebook. I have 86,000. So we wrote posts about each other. The moment she did her post, about 1,000 people followed me on my timeline. I did my own post. About 1,000 people flowed from me to her. So now we have our audiences. Our audiences have grown as a result of that collaboration. Until now, people are watching that video. It was about 2 hours something. I'm still getting notifications, more than 4,000 views of that particular video now on my timeline. Collaboration is critically important. Okay, so I believe that these points can help us. Okay, let me put the final point. Pay also to be exposed. So a lot of ways to pay: billboards, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, going on TV, paying other influencers. Do you know that sometimes people write about me on their timeline, not necessarily because they love Emeka Nobis. because I've studied their brand and I've seen that I love the audience that they are building. The audience is what I'm seeking for. And so I pay them to talk about me. So they talk about me. So when they talk about me, you may never know when I have paid or when I didn't pay. And what I usually do is that when I pay them, I craft what I want them to post. I craft it in such a way that when people read it, they're like, man, this guy is a great guy. And then they'll flow in my direction. That's how I usually do it. So I sometimes spend money. You could run ads. You could run, different kinds of paid advertisements, whether radio or TV, whichever one you think that can help your brand. And then you bring more people to come into your community. So I feel that these points can be great points. I'm writing a book on it now. But this is just strictly social media, how to grow a social media audience that gives you money. And I'm going to launch it on my birthday on the 1st of July this year. So, but I feel that these points can be something that you can utilize. And I see a question here that's asking me, somebody's saying, can we chat afterwards? Oh, fantastic. Yes, we can chat. Okay. Do you build community just to sell, especially when you're selling food? Of course. You are not building community only to sell. You are building community I build community for different reasons. I build community for influence marketing. So what do I mean by that? There are some individuals that cannot pay me, that cannot buy from me, but an organization can leverage on my brand to reach them. So let's say, for example, I also have young people now, following me. An organization that wants to reach young people can leverage on my brand to reach them. So they pay me to reach them. They pay me to advertise, and then they can reach. So I also build a brand community because they can amplify my voice. So when I say something on social media, they can take what it is that I've said and they will spread it. They'll amplify. It's just like sending 10 individuals like Jesus Christ did, the 12 disciples, go ye into the nations and evangelize. So the audience I'm building can evangelize for me, spread my word, amplify my message. So it's not just about selling alone. There are other objectives, but of course you need money. Why are we? If I don't have money, I cannot do more. So if you are building it, you can build it for selling. I know a woman who has built a community on Telegram for selling her shoes and bags. And she's cashing out. Telegram, that's what she used, put them. And I have one that came to my office last week. An amazing woman. She's using WhatsApp to build her community. She sells shoes in big quantities. She's using WhatsApp to build that community for herself, where she shares her experiences, shares her pains, shares what she's going through, and then she sells to them. So she's making the community not just about, hey, come and buy shoe, come and buy shoe. She shares her pains. She says how, what she's going through as a human being in Nigeria, the cashless economy. And they love her because she's sharing herself with them, not just because of the money that they are giving her by buying shoes from her. So these are some of the things that you can utilize to be able to build a community for yourself. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Emeka. My final questions, 2 in 1. What happens when someone has been consistent and there is no conversion? What would be your advice for the person? The person has been doing many of these things, it's almost about giving up. You've done all the right things, but there's no conversion. What's your word for that person? Then are there courses that you have that we can put on the maybe chat box that people can help people? Maybe it's something that they can buy from your website, or something that can practically, maybe some of the things you have not touched on that you think can help them. We'll be glad to have it as well.
Okay, 2 things I would say to that very first question. When people say they have done the right thing, sir, sometimes the right thing that they say they are doing to themselves may not actually be the right thing. So some of them will tell me, I'm creating content. And I'll go there and say, okay, let me see the content you're actually creating. And I go there. The content is whack. It doesn't make sense. There's no emotional pull to it. And they're saying that they're creating content. So I help them to repackage the content in a way that will make the actual sense. So some people will say, I'm doing the right thing, so I've been doing the right thing, so, and they are not working. The thing is that the right thing that you're doing, can you subject that thing to other lenses? What I mean is that, can someone else who is an expert in this take a look at what it is that you say that you've been doing well? Because most of us, we say, okay, I'm doing this thing well. I'm doing this thing well. But maybe you are operating within a bracket that you called wellness or rightness. And that rightness may not necessarily be what is right to the, let me give you a particular example. For those people who have studied English language, you understand that when we say free gift, it's actually wrong. I mean, they say tautologically, free gift. A gift is already a free thing. For example, if I'm bringing gift now to Praise for Owe, I cannot come to your house, that Praise, and say, hey, that Praise, I brought a free gift for you. I mean, does it make sense? I brought a bottle of wine. It's a gift. I gave you a gift. But do you know that when you are marketing to Nigerians, something that you call free, something that you call a gift, my dear, you have to put free and gift together. If not, they will be thinking, hey, this one don't come with Mago is there. It's because of the things I've studied. You have to put free and gift together. Free gift. Is English correct? It is not correct. But for those of us who are marketers, we will accept to speak bad English because we need to reach the audience. And I give you another thing. Another woman who came to me, she sells, she's a medical doctor. She says she helps individuals to undergo stress, to ease off stress. And she said, Emeka, I've been doing the right things. I've been doing the right things. Okay, let me look at the right things you have been doing. I went there and I saw big grammar that she has been speaking as a medical doctor. You know, medical doctors, they like to do buga because they went to school. Big. I said, Madam, all these things that you're speaking here, people are not understanding this grammar. Do you know that Nigerians many of them don't even understand what you are saying stress. They don't understand what stress is all about. You have to speak what they will understand that correlates to stress. Now, what are those things? Headache. Oh, my headache won't kill me. I came back. Oh boy, headache won't finish me. My head is aching. Is headache a symptom of stress? The woman said yes. Speak it. And now said sleeplessness. Some individuals enter the bed. They are shining their eyes till morning. Is that a symptom of stress? She said yes. Speak the language. So you have been doing the right things. So it's correct that what you're doing. But this right thing that you're saying that you are doing, it is not the right thing for the audience that you're reaching out to because they don't understand it. And so she began to change the rightness of what she's doing to the rightness of the market. Another woman came to me and she was always mentioning hypertensives. And I say, ma'am, you are dealing with those who are hypertensive, fine. But what is the word for hypertensive in the normal balance? She said BP. I said, if you enter into the market, people will understand BP. Somebody who is even a tout, who is watching match, for example, you know, when Chelsea and Man U are playing, somebody will say, I don't want that, your BP no will kill me. They understand BP. Okay, go and speak hypertensive to them. We don't understand it. Hypertensive is right, but in the context of the audience that you're reaching out to the market, hypertensive, it is not right. So I will tell them, if you think that you have been doing the right things, but check out if you're actually doing the right thing. Let an expert who understands the market take a look at the rightness of your things and see how you can, bend it. And then the second point to that thing is still consistency. Sometimes we may be thinking that like a woman yesterday, she made one post. She's actually looking for money and the money didn't come. She entered my inbox. I say, ma, have hope. Only once may not get it. Keep at it. It's like you're chipping a block. You cannot hit once and then the thing will come out. You're not Moses. Keep chipping it. Hit at it. Keep hitting at it. Gradually, you see that the stress will be induced inside of the rock. Gradually, the molecules will start splitting. And then, trust me, it got to I have been on this journey for many years. But praise, I can tell you that I started having my breaking point. Let me say breaking point of blessings in 2020. And last year, 2022, was amazing. I can tell you, I went to Lagos and I was gifted a half plot of land. It has never happened to me before. I was in Lagos. People gave me 5 pairs of shoes for appearing at the event. Most of the clothes I'm wearing now are clothes that people gave me as a gift and says, Emeka, because of you have been a blessing, take this. In a week, I can wear 5 different clothes that are not mine. That I didn't buy with my money. Because over the years, I have been there, consistent, posting, sharing, doing things. And then gradually, I think it takes patience. to be able to keep marketing, to be on this journey until the breaking point comes. So that's what I will say. For my training, the current one that I'm doing right now is how to grow a social media audience that gives you money. I think somebody else has posted the link already. Ayo has posted the link, emekanobis.seller.co audience money. So that's basically what I'm doing right now, what I'm selling right now, because I realized that people need to grow audiences, organizations, personal brands. The more you do it, it helps you. Jesus Christ built an audience. That's why we were able to hear the gospel today. Devil himself, they are building audiences. LGBT communities that are building. Now I'm hearing that it's not only LGBT. I mean, they have added more to it. They are building audiences. They are building communities. You yourself should start thinking in terms of communities for your movement, for your message. Think in that direction. I'm watching TV now, my kids, and I'm seeing gay children. I don't have a problem with them, but this is how I'm wanting to raise my kids. So I'm watching. What does that mean? It means that they are penetrating, building audiences in the media, building audiences physically. Now, even on social media, there's something you write now. Attack will come. There was one I wrote one particular time. They took it upon themselves. And there's something I like about me. As long as Facebook will not ban me, attack, fire down. You are spreading my name. I mean, I just deliberately do it sometimes. Let them carry me and start spreading. Do you get? So they are building communities. What about you? Start thinking in terms of building audience, building communities, and that's what I've been pushing for. All through this month since first of March up until now. So I think that's it. Somebody has placed a comment already in the comment box, so you can have access to that training and participate. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Emeka. Please, let's appreciate Emeka Nobis. Thank you so much for coming. You'll surely be back the day we want to talk about religion, because that's another touch point for you. Thank you very much for obliging us. I do not take this for granted at all. Okay, House of Saviors, I'm going to hand over back to Zoriel. I hope you have learned something that you can apply almost immediately. Please go ahead.
So anybody who wants to reach out to me, I'm always there on Facebook. If you send me a Facebook Messenger, I will always reply. That's where I'm always, not Instagram. I'm not an Instagram guy like that, but I'm there on Facebook all the time. Even after now, I'll go and check my messages and all that. So if you want to reach out to me on Facebook, I'm always there. Emeka Nobis. You see me wearing a hat, fine boy face with eyeglasses. You can always. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.